What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. And today is day 7 of the 2025 Halloween yard hunt setup. I've already began working on a few things. As you can see, I got the fishing bait and tackle shop sign up. We actually got an old piece of wood, put some dark brown paint on it to make it look aged, and then we added some moss green spray paint to really give it that swamp and aged effect. We've written the live baits and the bait selections with a black Sharpie, one of the bigger Sharpies, and it came out very well, looks very good. We've also added the hanging hook heads on each side to really sell the idea that this is a evil and scary tackle shop that is located deep in the swamp. We have written various bait options on there. As you can see, we have worms, eyeballs, fingers, and maggots, trying to come up with clever and scary and funny options. I have it angled slightly to the right. I didn't want to keep it dead center because, let me back up and show you. When it's angled like that, it looks old, it looks more run down. And also I had some of the fake vines and weeds that have fallen off since we put them up. And I've put them on here and it looks super cool, looks super overgrown, looks super dilapidated, which is exactly what we're going for. I've put some in between the wood there, like it's poking out, one on the bottom there, and then I have one just hanging over the top there. So here's the road view of the bait and tackle shop. I'll scoot over here so you can see the main sign as well. Obviously we have a character in there that plays the worker for the bait and tackle shop. So you guys will see him later on. If you guys watched our last video, you know that we worked a lot on the lighting in the swamp section. But today's main goal is to work on the lighting in the hospital scene, which is in the front of the house, on the front porch here. Lighting will be very key in this section to really get the effect and make it look scary. So there's a lot to do here. We got to run cords out here, figure out what lighting we want, and we'll go from there. Like I mentioned in other videos, we've made this nurse station wall super bloody. We have old hospital signs hanging from each window where the props are going to be. There's a main hospital sign right here that is pretty big. More signs right there, and more vintage signs down here. So really getting the light the way we want it out here is going to be key to making this section come alive. Something else I wanted to mention real quick about why we aged this bait sign the way we did with the moss green and the dark brown. Typically when wood is by water for long periods of time, it tends to get darker. So that's why we want to do that, to give the impression that this thing has been around water for years and years and years. And also the moss green spray paint, obviously the weeds are losing their color onto this wood because they've been on there for so long. But yeah, we're super happy how it turned out. Something else I decided to add to the tackle shop area is that severed hand right there. I had extra one laying around, tied some rope to it. Thought that it would be a cool addition to go along with the severed heads that are hanging in this section. We've began the lighting and running cords for the hospital section now. It is so confusing trying to figure out the wire configuration. I'm sure if you guys are haunters as well, you know what I'm talking about. There's cords running everywhere. Trying to figure out the best way to run them from cord to cord, what will go into what. Trying to find the right place to put in the outlet. As you can see, we have various lights out here now. Right now I'm just trying to get some lights out here and get them plugged up so I ensure that I have the correct amount of cords ran. As you can see, I have a light for this section, one for this. I have this very cool industrial style light on the hospital sign that would look super cool with a flickering light in that. Have a light in this section and then one more down here. So right now we're just covering all the bases for each section to make sure each section has some lighting. When it gets dark and we get the props out here for opening night and I get a chance to look at it and review it, then we'll make some changes and figure out some tweaks we need to make. Maybe do some backlighting of some things and things of that nature. Something else I have to consider is I'm not just running cords for the lighting. Obviously lighting is the number one thing I'm doing right now, but I also have to run cords that will be ready for the props that will go into each of these spots. So each spot that I'm putting a prop, I got to make sure I run a cord so that it has a power outlet to plug into. I like doing the lights first because that's the hardest part, because most of them are 3-prongs. So they require a 3-prong extension cord, but the props can use any type of cord. We've been working on the lighting in the church section. I'm really liking how it's coming along. We've been getting some cords run out here and floodlights in various places, and we've also started bringing out some props. I placed 2 floodlights behind the windows there to create a stained glass look, and I like the red color. I think it goes well with this scene. We started bringing out a few tombstones for this area as well on both sides to really complement the church. Got 2 flickering candles there beside the front door. And right now I have 2 blue lights that's creating a light for the church. It's really contrasting well off of the white paint. Like I said before, white catches a lot of the colors that's being reflected by the floodlights. So I love the combination there. The idea of this scene is we're going to have a funeral scene in front of this church. So we're going to have rows full of people, which are actually zombies that we made individually. So they're going to be sitting in the middle there. And there's going to be a casket with a zombie inside as the victim, I guess you would say. And the zombies are going to be attending the funeral, sitting in the pews there. But yeah, obviously there's still a lot more to bring out here in terms of props. Still got to tweak some lighting. Maybe bring a couple more tombstones as well. We need to get this main light that's shining above me here that you see on top of the church. We need to take that out because it's producing too much light from the street light. But yeah, I'm super happy with how it's looking. I think the lighting is looking very good. It's contrasting well with the red light behind the windows, with the blue in front, and the blue looks good on the tombstones as well. Right now, I'll just have 2 main lights in the front lighting the church. Like I said, I have 2 red lights behind the windows. Obviously, I mentioned before, the candles creating the glowing effect. Right now, that floodlight for the church right there is also casting a very cool shadow effect onto this tombstone right here, which I'll give you a close shot of. Super cool tombstone. And then on these other 2 tombstones over here, right now we have 2 floodlights that's creating an uplighting effect on those. This one is actually like this one over here that's casting the light from the floodlight onto the tombstone. We're getting the same effect on this one as well. It doesn't have a direct light onto it. It's just catching the light that is coming onto the church. With that being said, I'm super happy with how this scene is coming together and it's looking so far. I can't wait to see the final product here when we get everything finished. I'm also super happy with everything we were able to get done today in terms of lighting, effects, running cords. Because you guys know as haunters, that's the hardest part, is figuring out the cord situation, the lighting, and things like that. We were able to get all the lighting done in each section. We're not completely finished, but we were able to get a good head start on it. We just need to make some tweaks and changes as we continue to get ready for opening night. We ran cords for the front section, which is the hospital scene on the front porch area. We were able to do some finishing touches on the bait and tackle shop, which looks super cool. Please make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of our future videos. If you've missed any of the old yard haunt setup videos that shows how we got to this point, make sure you go back and watch those. If you guys have any suggestions on what things we can do to improve, please let me know in the comments below. But be on the lookout for the 2025 Halloween yard haunt walkthrough when we are finished setting up here for the season. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.